Welcome to another episode of Void City Customs. Long story short, regarding this Rhino figure, I will be painting him, but I missed the original Marvel Legends Rhino. I wasn't collecting at the time, and when I started, Rhino was at the top of my list as a figure that I wanted. Then Hasbro said that they were going to re-release this figure, and I laughed out loud because the paint was so bad. I mean, this is somehow reverse shadows. I have no idea what they were thinking. But I refused to pay full price for this. I did get it on sale with the knowledge that I would be repainting it to something I was more satisfied with. So I have started that on his back, which was largely unpainted. Unlike the front here, where you can see he's got these dark spots at weirdly all of the high points, the back was untouched, kind of like a McFarlane. So what I did was I came in with some gray. I think this is actually just primer, but it seemed to match well enough. And you can see here I stopped at this seam, so there's going to be a color difference. He will ultimately be darker than the original plastic. And I did some sanding along the seam here. There's a bunch of extra plastic on this side. Strangely not on this side, but again you can see there the color difference. So he will be darker. I just brushed that on as a test. I do have a new airbrush, so I will be airbrushing his body. Yeah, and that's it to start. I really wanted a Rhino, and then was so disappointed when Hasbro first showed off this release, and I'm like, I don't want to pay that price for a terrible paint job. So I did, as I said, get it on sale, and I am now repainting it, hopefully to my satisfaction. So this is how he looks after I airbrushed it. I'm using this USB airbrush, which I just got, and I gotta say it works pretty well, but there are a couple of spots, if you could see there, where there's a color difference underneath where the plastic was hiding underneath, that I will go through and hit with a brush. And next I will go through and retouch the fingers and toes, and after that add some shading. But as far as base coat, I mean, already this looks fantastic. It's a even gray instead of that weird shading that was there just a moment ago. And I will have to do the head by hand as well, just because there's too much detail for me to use the airbrush for this, but he's looking pretty good. Yesterday I applied a black wash to this guy to get into all of these nooks and crannies. It had the additional effect of making his overall skin even darker, and now I'm going to go through and dry brush on a lighter gray to lighten up and to highlight some of this stuff. So that is next. I also, while I was at it, retouched his toes and fingers. I was actually looking for my skeleton bone paint, which I couldn't find. I wound up using corpse pale and then a little bit of wash on top of that, and I think it looks really nice, except there's a tiny amount of gray still popping through, so I might retouch that one more time while I'm at it. Otherwise, I think it looks great. So, if all goes well, you just watched me dry brush a light gray all over this guy, and I hit some of these circular spots with a more detailed brush. I am vastly more happy with this. The problem is I still need to go back and do everything that I've just done to the body, to the head, because I haven't touched that at all yet. And that includes retouching the horn as well. So when I retouch these toes, I will do the same thing to the horn, and then I'm going to do everything that I've just done to the body, to this head. I'm going to leave the face alone. Okay. So, since I last showed this, I have dry brushed some additional spots, particularly these upper abs here in the hips that were missing, and I've retouched all of the head. First, it's really all the same steps. So, primer, black wash, dry brushing on top, and then I also retouched his toes. So I did notice I need to fix this. I thought that I had gotten a little bit of gray into the Rhino eye, and when I tried to flick it off, I made it worse. So I think I was peeling paint at some point. I need to retouch the eye, put gloss on top of that just to make it pop a little bit, but overall, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. I am going to top coat this, and I'm going to do that right now before I lose any more light. So, top coat, a little bit of gloss, blackening this eye again, and I think at that point he should be done. So I will be back. So here he is complete, and the only thing I did was add a touch of gloss after finishing off the black, retouching the black in that eye. Oh, and I forgot. So I did top coat him as well with this stuff, which I have a few different top coats. I definitely wanted a flat, not gloss, and this stuff has always worked really well for me. Mr. Hobby Premium Top Coat. This stuff is great. So this is now done. I'm going to put him up on my Spider Villain shelf, and I will include a updated picture of that here, just because it's been a while, and Sandman fell, honestly, a couple of months ago, and he's never made it back up. So I need to rearrange the whole shelf, add Lizard, all that stuff. But this is now complete. I'm very happy with it. I will point out as well, since I was using the top coat that I sprayed this guy as well, I just popped the head off. I taped off the shoes so that the shoes still have a little bit of shine, but I noticed shine on the sweater, and I wasn't happy with that. So I sprayed him since I had the booth set up and the can out, and now he's flat, at least the pants and the shirt. So I'm much happier with this as well. Now, I have a few other projects. Dan and I honestly have probably too many things that we're working on at the moment. So more videos will be coming. It is pretty easy to get into customizing it if it is something that you're interested in. I will warn you though, I think we've both said this before, but it's kind of a slippery slope. Once you start, it's I don't think, at least in my opinion, you look at your toys the same way again. I get a toy out of the box and it's not a final product to me, it's more of a starting point. So it's easy to do. In my opinion, it makes the toys better. I'm vastly happier with this than I was with the version that came out of the box. But yeah, I don't know. This is how I play with my toys, and I'm happy to finally have a Rhino after all of these years. So that has been it for me. As I said, more will be coming. I've been doing some more painting. I've done a little bit of sculpting, some kit bashing, and yeah, more videos to come. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that stuff.